It's your boy, Man Like Cam. Can we talk Errol Spence versus Shawn Porter? Alright then, first off, what a scrap. Now coming into the fight, Shawn Porter was an 8-1 underdog, which means that bookmakers only gave him about 12% chance. How he made a mug of the bookmakers. Dude was incredible style. Both fighters deserve enough respect. But Shawn Porter, for the amount of disrespect that people, pundits and commentators alike, were giving him leading up to the fight, enough respect. So he needed, his keys to victory were to make it scrappy. Don't let Errol Spence box you for 12 rounds, because that's not going to end well. And he did it absolutely brilliantly, made it scrappy. For me, reminiscent of Emmanuel Augustus. You remember this guy? Emmanuel Burton, Emmanuel Augustus, a bit like a drunken master, but technical as well. Aaron Pryor as well, where he's slipping and sliding punches, but very unorthodox all the while. Super sick. So let's talk to the judges' scorecards at first. So I think they had it 116-112, Shawn Porter won. And then the other two judges had it 115-112. Now I think 115-112 was about right. So I scored it 115-112. Although interestingly, leading up to the 11th round, I had Shawn Porter 2 rounds ahead. So that means, but for the knockdown and but for Errol turning it on in round 12, we could have had a very different result, right? Why? So where do we kick off with this now? So Shawn Porter is a sick guy. Now I know that he's not, he's awkward. He's awkward and technically he's not the most proficient. And ultimately, I think that's why Errol Spence managed to get it done. But nevertheless, we gotta give the dude credit here for the way he was able to fight the fight in his landscape. He can't fight this far away fight. Errol Spence is 2 inches taller than him and longer reach. It's not gonna work, and a better boxer even. It's not gonna work out well for Shawn. So he managed to drag Errol into his landscape. An up close and personal phone booth type of fight for 12 rounds. Unbelievable. Marching forward, never ever a backstep, but nevertheless being a bit elusive with it. Now Errol Spence dealt well with it ultimately and overcame in the championship round. The knockdown was key, man. That left hook was very crafty and delivered at a time when Errol Spence needed it, especially since I think on most scorecards it was 2 rounds down at that point. Sick left hook, down Shawn Porter. He didn't even down him. It was a testament to Shawn Porter's toughness, right? Not like he took a knee, he wasn't properly knocked down. His glove barely hit the canvas. But again, under Queensberry rules, that is an official knockdown. 10-8 round to Errol Spence. And then Errol Spence smashes out the 12th round. A la Oscar De La Hoya. Reminiscent of Oscar against Ike Quartey. You know, Oscar was a proper champ at one time. And always used to win the 12th and the 11th round to ram it home. Exactly the same way Errol Spence did here, man. How good is Errol Spence? See, I don't know still. Let me show you this cap first. So my boy bought me this back from Conor versus Floyd. The reason why I put that cap there is because a lot of people have been talking about a sparring session that Errol had once upon a time with Floyd. And now he saw to Floyd that time. See me, I think them comparisons are a bit premature still. You can't put Errol Spence in the same sentence as Pretty Boy Floyd, and definitely not Floyd in the latter stage of his career. He's not savvy enough. You can see that he really struggled. Even at the 11th, 12th round, I still don't think, okay, so he came out on top here, just barely. I don't think Errol Spence had figured out Shawn Porter's style. Now these two go back, yeah? They go back far, they spar together, they're bridges, they know each other's family. So over the 12 rounds, I would expect if Errol Spence were that guy and a true pound for pound great like people are trying to make him out to be, that he would be able to figure out a guy as unorthodox as Shawn Porter is over the course of the 12 rounds. Didn't get it though. Didn't get it. For me, Errol could have made that fight a lot easier. Again, landscape is the issue. This is boxing. You need to make the fight as easy for you as possible here. So Errol's keys to victory and easy victory were distance. Don't smother your work. use your jab, keep the smaller fighter at range. And he did it in parts, man. From the 8th round on, it was as if, and again, we'll talk to the PBC broadcast, the quality of it in a minute. But it was as if from the 8th round, his corner had a word, focus on the jab, Errol, box, move, keep this guy at distance. Don't make this into a brawl. I know you've got a point to prove, and I know you're a big boxer and you've got enough pride, but let's not do this here and now. And you could see that Errol kind of, he refocused on the jab, throwing the jab out there, moving, 1-2ing, slipping and sliding, becoming a true boxer, again, a boxer puncher. But before then, he was 2 greens, so all rounds 1 to 7, let's say, he was happy to brawl, he was happy to take the fight, almost like he wanted to prove a point. John Bones Jones style, you know the way John Bones Jones likes to take the opponent's weapon and beat him there. So whatever you're good at, if you're good at fighting in the phone bit, that's where he's going to fight you. He's going to fight you up close and personal. If you're a good wrestler, well, I'm going to wrestle with you, Daniel Cormier, I'm going to end up taking you down. That's exactly what Errol, and that's not always the right strategy, man. That's not. Floyd was a master at doing the exact opposite, and I'm not sure that Errol has enough sense or strategic nous to deploy them kind of things, because clearly for 8 rounds yesterday, for the best part of 7, he just wanted to fight. He's not a fighter. That's why Shawn took it closely. Well, he through to round 10. I had him 2 rounds up, and so did the commentators. I want to talk to the quality of the PBC broadcast very quickly as well. What are they doing really? I'm hearing madness in the audience that I shouldn't be hearing. Did anybody else hear this constant, annoying screaming that was going on? Super high-pitched screaming. For what? Why am I hearing this? When they get to the corner in between rounds, how comes I can't hear what the cornermen are telling him? I'm used to this quality of broadcast from the UFC, from HBO, from Showtime. So how comes when it's Premier Boxing Competition or whatever it's called, PBC, Al Heyman's promotion, how come I can't, Premier Boxing Championship, how come I can't hear what the corner is saying? There's a critical information, details that we're used to getting as boxing fans, that when we don't get them, it stands out like a sore thumb, right? Hygiene factors, commentators as well. The bit of the American broadcast. Now, I love Lennox Lewis, man, but he is not the guy to be commentating. Co-color commentator, whatever you want to call it. He can't commentate. One of the best boxers we've ever produced in Britain. He's not the guy to be commentating. I don't know what it is. He just doesn't have that skill yet. On the British broadcast, I don't even know the dude's names here, but they were better than Lennox, but they weren't the greatest, man. Need to get Adam Smith back on there now. I know he's a Sky man, but where was Adam Smith? Anyway, Errol Smith next. Danny Garcia. Why? So I don't know what to say to this one now. Still, I kind of want to see him fight Terence, man. Terence Crawford is the guy still. If you're talking pound for pound, he's the bud. He is the bud. Get some rest and come back and fight Terence. But again, we're dealing with rival networks, and it's the same old thing what we experience time and time again with Tyson, Lewis, and all these other fighters that fight Floyd and Manny. Boxing, get it together, man. Have a word with yourself. Make the top pound for pound guys fight each other if they're fighting in the same weight division, which Crawford and Spence basically are. Make that fight happen, man. Imagine Errol goes in there and loses against Danny Garcia now. All the money that we could have made from them big super fights, Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford, gone down the drain. Exactly what happened with AJ and Deontay and Fury. Make them fights happen still. But apparently they decided Danny Garcia is the way. I think Errol Spence beats Danny Garcia. He's too fleet of foot, and again, if he concentrates on his boxing and a brilliant jab, he'll get it done. And you know what, to be fair, I want to credit Errol Spence for the championship heart that he showed. Because again, I don't think he was expecting a fight so difficult. I think he knew it would be a war, but I don't think he thought Shawn was capable of taking him to them deep waters. But whatever you want to say, you want to critique him and say he lacked the strategy and he didn't box as he should have. He showed the championship heart and he got it done ultimately. So sick from Errol. Going forward, I think he should beat Danny Garcia. I think it should be fairly easy for him. I'm a bit bored with that, man. Just make the proper fight still. Make the pound for pound. Terence Crawford sitting there waiting to bang. Get him in there. Get him in there. You lot need to sort out the networks, PBC, Al Heyman, whatever, I don't care, man. Make the fights. We've been suffering this boxing nonsense for too long to where big fights just slip by the wayside if we don't end up seeing them. See what happens. In summary, Spence Porter was an absolutely sick fight. Fight of the year contender. Really enjoyed it. Two warriors that come into the ring and left it all there. Both have the hearts of champions. Errol Spence in victory, Shawn Porter in defeat. Rate it. Really enjoyed the fight. Thank you for watching. Smash the like, smash the subscribe, and drop a comment if you could as well. Really appreciate it. See you on the next one.